In the late 1990s, the small town of Corpus Christi, Texas, was gripped by fear. A surge in violent crime, fueled by gang activity and drug trafficking, had left residents feeling unsafe in their own neighborhoods. The police, overwhelmed and under-resourced, struggled to maintain order. It was in this climate of desperation that a group of concerned citizens banded together, forming a vigilante justice organization known as the Guardian Angels. Their mission was to reclaim the streets and restore safety by any means necessary. The Guardian Angels were a diverse group comprised of local business owners, parents, and community members united by a shared frustration with the rising crime rates. Led by Marcus, a charismatic former police officer, the group began holding meetings in the back of a local diner. They devised strategies, organized patrols, and wore matching jackets emblazoned with their logo. Initially, their presence was welcomed by the community, who felt empowered knowing that there were people willing to take a stand. As the Guardian Angels patrolled the streets, their confidence grew. They started by observing and reporting suspicious activities, but as time passed, their methods evolved into something far more confrontational. Encouraged by a few early successes, like breaking up petty thefts and scaring off drug dealers, the group began to confront suspected criminals directly. Reports of aggressive encounters began to emerge, and the line between vigilante justice and unlawful behavior blurred. One fateful night, the Guardian Angels received a tip about a drug deal occurring in a nearby alley. Fueled by adrenaline and a sense of righteous purpose, Marcus led a small group of the most fervent members, including Alina, who had recently lost her brother to a drug-related shooting. This tragedy had ignited a fire within her, pushing her to seek revenge against the dealers she held responsible. As they approached the alley, a tense atmosphere hung in the air. The sounds of laughter and muffled voices reached them as they neared their target. When they rounded the corner, they encountered a group of young men who looked equally startled by the sudden confrontation. Marcus stepped forward, demanding that they leave the area and abandon their drug activities. The young men hesitated, caught off guard, but the tension quickly escalated. One of the dealers pulled out a knife, brandishing it threateningly. Alina, driven by anger and grief, charged forward, determined to confront the man. In an instant, the situation erupted into chaos. The Guardian Angels found themselves in a violent struggle, a brutal brawl unfolding right before their eyes. The adrenaline-fueled fight left several injured on both sides, and as the police sirens wailed in the distance, it became clear that this confrontation was spiraling out of control. When the police arrived, they were met with a chaotic scene. Instead of a straightforward confrontation between lawbreakers and those seeking justice, they found a melee of shouting, grappling figures. Officers struggled to separate the two groups, trying to restore order amid the chaos. The young men managed to escape, leaving the Guardian Angels to face the consequences of their impulsive actions. What had started as a noble cause quickly turned into a nightmare. The media descended upon the story, with local news outlets airing footage of the brawl and questioning the motivations of the Guardian Angels. The community's perception of the group shifted dramatically. Once viewed as heroes, they were now scrutinized and vilified. Questions arose about the effectiveness of vigilante justice and the potential for collateral damage in their quest for safety. As the investigation unfolded, the Guardian Angels found themselves facing legal repercussions. Charges of assault were brought against several members, including Marcus, whose leadership was now under intense scrutiny. The trial became a spectacle, drawing attention from both supporters and detractors. The courtroom was filled with community members, some rallying behind the vigilantes, while others held signs condemning their actions. During the trial, testimonies painted a picture of a group that had lost sight of its original mission. While they had begun with good intentions, the guardian angels had become more interested in retribution than justice. Alina, who had been so passionate about seeking vengeance for her brother, began to question her own motivations. As she listened to the testimonies of the young men they had confronted, many of whom were simply trying to survive in a harsh environment, she realized that violence only perpetuated a cycle of pain. The trial concluded with mixed verdicts. Some members were convicted, facing jail time, while others received lighter sentences. The once unified group fractured, with members arguing over what had gone wrong. The guardian angels disbanded, their dream of a safer community shattered. The fallout left a mark on Corpus Christi, where trust had eroded, and the lines between right and wrong blurred. In the aftermath, the town began to reflect on the root causes of crime. Local organizations emerged, focusing on providing support to at-risk youth and addressing the systemic issues that led to gang involvement. Community leaders called for open dialogues, emphasizing the importance of understanding rather than retaliating. Alina, grappling with her own feelings of loss and guilt, sought a new path. She began volunteering at a local community center, working with young people who were at risk of falling into the same patterns of violence that had consumed her brother. Her journey from seeking revenge to advocating for change became a powerful testament to the possibility of healing and redemption. Years later, Corpus Christi continued to face challenges, but the community had learned valuable lessons about the complexities of justice. The legacy of the guardian angel served as a reminder of the potential consequences of vigilante action. While their intentions had been rooted in a desire for safety, the consequences of their actions highlighted the importance of compassion, understanding, and community support.